Hey everyone, how is it going today? We are a few minutes late because the YouTube stream, the scheduled stream, was not working right. So I'm going to give everyone on YouTube a minute to join because I know that there were people waiting on the other stream. So hopefully they will realize that we are live over here and they will be jumping on. I just messed up my necklace. That's totally fine. All right. Hi, guys. How are you doing today? How are you doing? I've been waiting. I'm so excited. Yeah, I was just trying to set up the YouTube stream. So I don't know. Apparently, I can't schedule it. I was trying to make it easier. So I had to redo the whole thing really quickly. But I am here. How are you guys feeling after yesterday? Did you practice the detachment exercise? Were you able to catch up on the whole event, the whole training? Did everyone get through it? Hey, Angel. Hello, hello. One thing I do want to mention is I did not even think about this, but if you are somebody that has a private account and you are entering into the scholarship giveaway for AOMU, I need you to, at least for the day that you're sharing, or you can do it until Friday, just make your account public just so that way I can see it. I can't see what was posted if your account isn't public. And I know a few of you shared something with me, so I'm sure that was the tag. I don't know how it looks. And then some of you had private accounts and had questions and I couldn't see it. So just make sure you put your account to private for the day, for the 24 hours, so I can see the story, or for until Friday, like until after Friday's training. So if you are new here, this is the Detach From the 3D event, and I'm so excited. So I am going to just jump right in like I normally do, but I do want to say, if you're just catching me, and I also still am trying to give the YouTubers a minute to catch up because that stream is still not okay. Some people are coming on. Good. Okay. Amazing. So this is the Detach From the 3D event. This is day 2. Yesterday, we really talked about how to start really detaching from your 3D so that way you can tell a new story, so that way you can think new thoughts, so that way ultimately you can feel differently and then you can identify differently. And one thing that I mentioned was that I'm really at this place where not only me, but with my clients and with my students, the one thing that I'm really shifting into is how can we do this faster? So I gave you guys my motto that I've lived by for over over a decade now. I was like, what is math and what age am I? But over a decade, I've been using this motto: get it, get good, get fast. And that's really at the place where I'm at right now. And where I really want to be mentoring and coaching you guys from is to teach you how to make these shifts faster. Because one common misconception that I find a lot of people buy into, and here's the thing, of course, personal development, healing, the spiritual ascension, of course, all of that is amazing. But do we have to have this belief that the healing process has to take a long time? Do we have to have this belief of we're blocked? I don't like that terminology that people use all the time. I don't think you're actually blocked. And I think the language that we use is a really good indication to know where are we actually at with our core belief system, right? And one thing that I absolutely fell victim to at the beginning of my journey was thinking that I had to do all of this healing work. And especially somebody who had come from a lot of trauma. I shared some of my story, like a synopsis of it with you guys yesterday. And so, even especially somebody coming from a lot of trauma, it felt like there was a lot of work that I had to do, and that this whole manifestation thing had to take a long time. But the concept that I have been playing with and really integrating and embodying for a while now is, what if I don't have to take a long time to heal? But what if I can actually very quickly decide to believe a new belief and decide to integrate it and embody it quickly? So the thing with a lot of people, and this is the one thing I really want to make sure we talk about today, is I know how many people know that your beliefs are what is going to manifest, but I notice a lot of people have a difficult time being able to pay attention to the belief in the moment. So that means in a moment when something undesirable is happening, you can clock yourself and say, wait a minute, am I having a belief that is reacting to what's happening outside of me? Like we talked about yesterday, when you are in reaction mode, you're observing. So, are your belief systems or the beliefs that you're thinking all day long, are they something that is in reaction to what's happening outside of you? Or are you able to detach from the circumstance and in the detachment, in that separation, in that space, decide? So, like we talked about yesterday, getting out of any doubting frequency, going right into decision frequency. But can you do it in the moment? When you can master this skill, this is when you not only very, very quickly see shifts in your reality, you feel differently, and you identify very quickly, because a lot of people focus so much on the beliefs but they aren't able to clock them in the moment, and then they forget that it isn't just the belief. Like when you have integrated a new belief, it's not just something living in your head, it's now dropped into wisdom in your body. And how does it do that? Because it happens through lived experience. It happens through you practicing what you're preaching, in a sense. And so it's like, the people that are manifesting the fastest, the people that are collapsing time over and over and over again, and collapsing time, bending time, quantum leaping, like if you are new to this space, these are all semantics. Like they all can be simultaneously used and they can be rearranged, and you'll sometimes hear me use one term or the other. But ultimately, what that means is, how can I get from where I'm at currently in my internal space of being, in my external space of being, and how can I get where I desire to be in a shorter period of time? And now the linear timeline that we've been taught about how things have to take a long time, and this has to happen, and then this has to happen, the whole like, in order to get to Z, you have to start at A thing and you go this way. It Time doesn't work like that. And when we get into this manifestation space, a lot of us get into this from, doing personal development or learning some mindset things. And then it's like, oh, wait, what? We're creators of our reality? I don't think I was prepared for this, but this is exactly what I wanted to hear. And so we find ourselves going through this journey. But like I was saying, a lot of people, including myself, like, let me know, like, hit the like button or like drop it in the comments if you feel like this was you too. Were you somebody that like got, and maybe this is you currently, you fell into this trap that like you have to learn all of these things and you have to heal at a certain level and you have to ascend at a certain frequency and spiritual growth and all of these things. And it's like, I feel like we get stuck in this student archetype because we're taught to do this from a very small and young age. Like when we're little, it's like go to school and do this, and we're tested and we go through all of these things. So it's like we got to learn. But the way that you're going to manifest the fastest, and the way that I have really been collapsing time personally, is deciding that this healing process, this ascension process, this personal growth journey is a lifelong journey. It isn't a race and there's a finish line that I'm trying to get to. It is that this is just the part of being a spiritual being who's having a human experience and who's just going through the motions of having feelings, of getting to experience this 3D reality. Like when we can shift into having this deeper understanding of how we're looking at it and saying, wait a minute, like this is what I signed up for. I signed up to learn these lessons. I signed up to ascend. I signed up to forget that I am just a speck of God, consciousness, universe, source, creation, whatever term feels best for you. Like you are just a speck of that, experiencing what it's like to be human. And isn't that fucking beautiful and magnificent? Like it's just amazing. So instead of feeling like we have to be this student that's learning and reading all of these books and doing all these podcasts and having these long meditation sessions and having these long visualizations and having all of these things, it's like, what if we just decided that growth is part of this journey? It's a lifelong journey. It's It's not something that I have to rush to get to. I'm not like trying to get out of this present moment because I need it to change. I'm getting out of this present moment because I'm growing, I'm ascending, I'm tapping into my desires, I'm tapping into what I feel is actually possible for me. And like, what do I actually desire? What do I desire to experience? What do I desire my life to look like? We take the pressure off of like needing to be at this perfect place and just deciding that right now it's all as perfect it's all as perfect as it's ever going to be. Like, oh, it's all as perfect as it's ever going to be. So can you start releasing like the need to learn all of these things and have all these tools and journal 500 times a day? Exactly. And write the affirmations and do the 369 and have this routine and have this and have this. Because at the end of the day, you could have an 18-step morning routine. Like you could be waking up at 4 a.m. and you might be rock solid in that. But what I always ask my clients and my students, and the question I always want to pose to you is, say I am not good at math, y'all. This is something I'm not good at. So these numbers are probably not going to match up, but like it's the principle here. Okay. So say you sleep for 8 hours a day. Let's do 10 hours because I think that's an easier number for me to work with. So say you sleep for 10 hours a day and you are awake for the other 14 hours. Yes, your morning routine might be like 2 hours of your day. So then you've got 12 more hours. I'm proud of the math that I'm doing here. So you've got 12 more hours in the day. Can you tell me that during those 12 hours of the day that you are living, being, going through this whole human experience, are you actually thinking thoughts, feeling feelings, telling stories, taking action from this place of conviction and certainty that you get to create your desired reality? This is why you'll always hear me say embodiment is key. And what I have come to know is the way that you are going to collapse time so that way you're manifesting your desires faster. Like that's literally all that we're saying here when we use quantum leap and things like that, is how do you manifest your desires faster? The way that that starts is one, by accepting right now, the present moment, not needing it to change because that need is going to push it away. Accepting that right now it is perfect. So falling in love with this moment and embracing it for what it is, whether it is a lesson, whether it's a manifestation, whether it's just a moment of being able to breathe some air. Like you are alive and living in this moment. So can you start tapping into this moment now and accepting this moment now so that way you can actually lock into your desired vision of what you want to be living. So you're not fighting and resisting the present moment. You're embracing, accepting, and loving it, and knowing that in this moment, you are good enough. You are whole enough. You are healed enough. You are loved enough. You are wealthy enough. You are whatever, like confident enough, whatever the emotions are that you feel like you are lacking or you're trying to heal and get to. What if you just decided in this moment that you're good, like you're good, and in this moment this version of you right now can be the version of you who manifests all of your desires, because that's how you start the quantum leap. Accepting the present moment, no longer resisting it, falling in love with yourself, the present moment, and accepting that right now you could have it all. Like the version of you that you are right now can have it all. You are a speck of God. You can have anything that you want. You can create any experience that you want, but you need to stop fighting with the current experience. You need to start embracing this moment. You need to start accepting yourself for who you are right now, and then deciding, okay, so if I am in this moment perfect to manifest whatever I desire, like I don't need to do anything else. I just get to decide that I get to have it and it's available for me, and I'm just going to show up powerfully and convicted that I get to have this. So if I get to have it and I know this and I believe this to be true in my soul, then why wouldn't I allow it to come in right now? Why wouldn't I allow myself to have it in this moment? If I have accepted it, if I have embraced it, if I have genuinely decided that I get to experience anything that I want to experience and I get to have it all. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Then we don't sit around and wait. And here's the thing that I need you guys to understand. Sometimes I think because manifestation has become so big and personal development has become so big and the digital education platforms like and course creation has become so big, which I fucking love. Like I do this for a living. I obviously love it. I think that sometimes somebody's going to need to hear this today. We are distracting ourselves with the manifestation tools and rituals, sitting around and kind of like waiting for shit to happen outside of us because we're like, oh, well, I'll just do a meditation right now, or I'll just journal, or I'll say some affirmations, or I'll do an EFT tapping. And of course, there's a time and a place for all of this. And I love all of this, but use discernment here. Are you using these as tools to be a catalyst to your growth so that way you can connect to a higher frequency, so that way you can show up in a different energy, so that way you can be more magnetic to your desires, so that way you can be a more clear channel to receive divine downloads? Or are you doing it in the middle of the day instead of embodying the identity of the version of yourself who gets to have it right now? Because one thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is there's a bigness in that can feel kind of scary to the human that you're in, to the mind and to the body. It's kind of like, oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. But it's like, you have to start embracing that and you have to just like let that be fun. Turn the fear into excitement. When you can turn the fear into excitement and you don't let self-sabotaging behaviors, even if they are disguised and masked as a healthy tool, you are actually deciding what you want to manifest, deciding that right now it's available for you, getting so fucking excited in the process of creating that you immediately, in that moment of decision, move as that version of you. And that's the place where a lot of people don't get to because they are still waiting for something to happen outside of them. They aren't deciding in that moment that, okay, the version of me that has my desire already, they move a little differently. They feel a little differently. They think a little differently. They tell different stories about themselves. They are me, and I can tap into them right now at any moment because time is a fucking illusion. They're available for me right now, but I have to be audacious enough to claim that version of me and not wait for the manifestation to say, okay, but now I can become that version. Not wait for the money to become the successful version of yours or the wealthy version of yourself. Not wait for the success to become the successful version of yourself. Not wait for the love to become the loved version of yourself. Like, are you waiting to feel confident so that you have something outside of you that manifests that tells you that you can be confident? Are you waiting to embody and build a skill into yourself that the version of you that's living in your desired reality is already showing up as? Because wanting and waiting frequency, you guys have heard this so many times from me if you've been in my world, but you've got to get out of wanting and waiting frequency and you need to get into deciding and moving frequency. And what that means in a very tangible and practical way is in the moment that you decide to become this new version of yourself and start moving as them, start speaking as them, start thinking as them, start showing up and embodying the frequency that they're in, you will fall in love with this manifestation process because you're falling in love of becoming this very empowered version of yourself who's not sitting around and very, very passively waiting for shit to show up. They're very, very active in their manifestation process. And success loves speed, money loves speed, the universe loves speed. Think about it. We are all vibrating. And when you are moving from this place of passion, when you are moving from this place of excitement, when you are moving from a place of certainty where you know it's going to work because everything always works out for you. And like, of course it's going to manifest. And of course it's going to manifest quickly. Like, of course you've got it in the bag. When you become your own hype girl, So that way, the voice in your head is also that hype girl saying, like, of course it's going to come in quickly. Of course you get to have it. And you just start showing up as the version of you who thinks those thoughts, who speaks those words, who feels into that. This is how you manifest quickly, because you are moving, 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 and you're at this heightened emotional state. And the universe is responding to your frequency. It isn't necessarily responding to the action. That's why we can look at people in any industry that are taking the exact same strategies. And this doesn't even need to be in professional. Like, this can be personal too. There are people that are doing the exact same type of meditations. There are people that are doing the exact same rituals in manifestation. And one has wildly different results, because it isn't about the rituals that they're doing. It's about the fact that they are taking this knowledge from a very intellectual level, and they aren't collecting more knowledge, that student archetype that you've been taught to do. They're not reading more books, they're not listening more podcasts, they're not taking more programs, whatever it is. They are moving as the version of themselves who not only is fully fucking convicted. Remember my term yesterday, delusionally convicted. They're not only moving delusionally convicted, they are embodying this archetype of themselves who ultimately, like, this is the term that, like, if you guys are in Lead Yourself Powerfully, this is the term that's really been channeling through to me recently, is becoming the person who manifests everything that they desire. Like, oh, do you feel that? Do you, like, just feel the energy from that? Like, I just want you to sit with that for a minute. Say it out loud. If you're not around a bunch of people and they'll think you're crazy, think it in your head. But I'm deciding to become the person that manifests everything that they desire. Girl, that energy will change you. That embodiment will change you. And the thing about it is, like we talked about yesterday, like, I know you've heard a million and one times, but I just find that the whole conversation and application piece in manifestation is missing. Or yes, I'm going to say missing for lack of a better word. I just feel like it's still separately being taught. But when you know how to take the concepts and apply them in your life, so that way, moment by moment by moment, all 12 fucking hours of your day that you're awake, you are moving in this frequency of, I am the version of myself right fucking now that manifests everything that they desire. So that version of you, they're not doubting themselves. That version of you, they're not sitting around and waiting for shit to happen. That version of you isn't looking for evidence outside of themselves. That version of you is so fucking convicted that the vision that they have built in their mind is 100% guaranteed. Matter of fucking fact, baby. It is happening. That version of you is not available for the limiting beliefs. Because think about it. The reason why they call beliefs thought forms in the spiritual community is because they are attracted to you by the frequency that you're in. And think about it like, I don't like paranormal things, so I don't like necessarily want to go there, but like, think about it in a way where they always say, like, dark entities are attracted to lower vibrational things. Like, thought forms are attracted to you based off of your frequency. And when you are embodying the archetype, the avatar, the version of yourself, whatever term you want to use, when you're embodying that version of yourself who gets everything that they desire, just like try that frequency on for a minute. It might at first feel a little uncomfortable, right? Because we're all electrical beings, right? Like, when energy is surging through you, that's a lot of electricity. Like, that's why when you feel alive and you're doing something that feels alive, like, you feel it and it feels like electricity moving through your body. That is your soul, that is source, that is whatever you want to call it. That's energy moving through. And when you are sitting in a higher vibrational frequency, You are attracting in new thoughts. You are attracting in new desires. You are attracting in new downloads. And so that's why it's like, it's never a question of what is the action that I take? What do I have to do? How do I manifest it? The version of you who knows that they get everything that they want doesn't ask surface level questions like that, because I always tell you guys, you need to take that how and rearrange it, and you need to rearrange it into who. Because the way that you will manifest your desires consistently, quickly, becoming the version of yourself who gets everything that they want, period, is by holding this frequency, moving as this version of yourself, and understanding that it's never about what you do. Because if you're somebody that gets everything that you desire, everything that you do works. So it doesn't fucking matter how you do it. It just matters that you have a vision that you are connected to in your life that you want to experience. And you are tapping into the version of you who already has that. You're not waiting for this version of, or this reality to manifest to become that version of you. The true way to reverse engineer manifestation, the true way to guaranteed quantum leaps, is by you saying, this is what I desire to experience, very convictedly, getting extreme clarity on what that looks and feels like for you. So much so that you see yourself as that version of yourself and you connect in. So one thing that I play with a lot in my own mind, and things that like I philosophize with myself, because I think that not everyone is like ready to have this conversation, but it's channeling through to at least mention. But one thing that I think about all of the time is how humans for a long time now have been trying to like crack the code to time traveling. And I always thought that was so cool, because I was always very, very interested in time. I used to say I lose time a lot. And I always felt like time was so malleable. And there was something in me that knew that it wasn't real. And one of my favorite books that I was introduced to when I first got into philosophy when I was 16 was Slaughterhouse-Five. And that is a book that really plays with the timeline and tells you how time is happening simultaneously. And it takes you through this man who is basically living out like three different experiences. And he is still him, but in wildly different situations. Like, and when I say wildly different, I mean like as a soldier in World War II, I think it was. And then like another one, I haven't read this book in like a decade, but another one, he was like, he had gotten abducted by aliens, like, and they were asking him about his experiences. And so it was just like, something that always landed with me. I always thought that was so advanced and so cool. And fun fact, the author of that book grew up very close to where I'm from, like same area code. And I just think it's all very interesting. But why I'm telling you this is that is how it works. You are in this moment. And I know, and I need you to just like listen from spirit now. Don't listen through your head, because that's when these principles get to be very daunting, because your critical mind, your prefrontal cortex can't make sense of it, because some things are nonsensical. And a lot of things with manifestation are nonsensical. So we have to stop looking at life and interpreting information through our sensical mind, because that's going to limit us and block us. So listen from spirit now, but in this moment right now. And since time is happening simultaneously, it isn't just this one line of time that's happening. It's not this one life that you're living. There are all of these timelines that are happening right now. And you are living as a different version of yourself who's experiencing all ranges of life and experience. And that's the beauty of like the holographic universe, which we won't get deeply into. But if you do join AOMU and you're very curious about the science behind manifestation, I have a whole program called Quantum where I go so fucking deep into it. And I do tie the spirituality in towards the end as well. But you right now exist as multiple versions of yourself. You are existing at every level. So the version of you who is living in your desired reality, like has everything, has the car that you want to drive, maybe it's cars, has the house or the houses that you want to live in, has the exact lifestyle that you want to have, has the shape of their body that you want to be in, is in the relationship or not relationship that they want to be in, has the animals they want, has the house they want, has, I just said house, but everything. Like that version of you who's living there in that reality is available for you right now. And you can actually tap into that version of yourself. And so I see it as like, that's how, like, we're trying to, again, the humans, they're always just trying to do things from a very physical level, matter of fact level. And they're trying to travel through time doing that. But you travel through time in your mind. You literally do. Think about when you're driving a car and you've completely zoned out because you're going somewhere that you know, and you are somewhere else. You are somewhere else in your mind. You've traveled all the time, but are you using this skill that is built in this human God source creation? Like, are you using that skill towards your benefit to travel into and to connect to the version of yourself that has all of your desires? Or are you using that skill in the way your human was taught to ruminate about the past, to think about worst case scenario, to think about all of the things that could go wrong? It's like the version of you who has all of their desires isn't doing that. They are showing up in this excited frequency. They are showing up like, I get to have it all. Like, of course I get to have it all. And so a big part of this is to detach, is to connect more internally with that version of yourself, embody their frequency, embody them. Like, do they wear their hair differently? Do they dress differently? Are they more confident, or are they more calm? Are they like, what are their characteristic traits? How do they show up? What are the thoughts that they would think? What actions would they be taking? What lifestyle would they have? What routine? Like, who would they be hanging out with? What would they be investing in time wise, materially wise? Like, what would they be doing? So many people are waiting to take those actions, to feel those feelings, to embody those characteristics, to walk the talk is really the best way to put it, for their external reality to change. And then they get stuck in this cycle of why aren't the things that I want manifesting? Oh, well, I must have missed something. Let me listen to another podcast. Let me watch another TikTok video. Let me read another book. Let me watch another YouTube video. And it's like, how much time in the day are you connecting with the version of yourself that lives in your desired reality? And notice that if you've been with me for a minute, I started using the term future orientation. And I even think one of the quantum modules is called that. And that's from NLP. But if time isn't real, then the future doesn't exist, right? Like the only moment is now. So that's why I've been saying and using the language more, connecting with the version of yourself who's living in your desired reality, because it isn't a future version of yourself, right? It is all ultimately a parallel universe version of yourself, but you already are that person, so you can just decide to become them now. Notice how the main theme that I keep coming back to is deciding in this moment and shifting immediately with the decision. Do you feel that? Do you feel how potent that is? When you are deciding, like, no question, this is what I'm getting. This is what I'm going to manifest. This is who I'm going to be. And in that moment with deciding, understanding that it's duplicitous, like everything in this experience, the decision is about what you're going to experience, what you're going to manifest. And then the second part of that is deciding and getting clear on who do you need to be? What version of you has that manifestation? And immediately locking in. And so what I say, like what you'll hear me say, and you've probably heard me say, like staying plugged in. I need you to plug into the version of yourself that has that desired reality already. And like as if you could just plug into another version of yourself and just instantly, just like a computer would transfer files, if you could just instantly plug into them and you have their confidence, you have their feelings of wealth, you have their feelings of security, you have their audaciousness, you have their thoughts, you have their belief system. Like, what if it could be instantaneous? What if you could instantly shift who you are? That's the concept that I need you to start playing with, because until you play with that concept, manifestation can be inconsistent. It can seem like it's taking a long time. It can feel like it's not working. But when you decide and move and shift instantly in the moment with the decision, you are not the same version of yourself that you were before that decision. It's like that old philosophical quote that you can never walk through the same river twice because the river isn't the same and you're not the same. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, but same thing, right? Like you're always growing and you're always ascending and you're always changing. What if you stopped believing in the linear belief, in the limiting belief that something has to take time, that you have to experience something to become someone else? What if you were always just fine tuning your frequency by embodying a higher level of yourself? Not a better version of yourself, not a future version of yourself, but a version of yourself that already exists right now, by tapping into them, by closing your eyes, by connecting to that vision, and then seeing yourself as that version of yourself in that vision and plugging in to that version of yourself, instantaneously downloading their frequency, their beliefs, their energy, the way that they live their life. Like that is instantaneously shifting your self concept. That is instantaneously shifting your identity, shifting your self image, like whatever term you want to use, it can happen instantaneously. And I know because I've gone through all of the mindset coaching and the trainings, and like I understand that there is a typical timeline to rewiring your mind and to really embodying a new identity. And I do get that, and on some levels I still can understand that and still do believe that. But what I now have come to know is I truly think that that's at the beginning. Like when you're learning, when you've just found personal development, when you've just found mindset and manifestation content, and you start learning and you start rewiring, it's like it's a process. But I think with everything, you can get good, and get fast. So you can then start playing with, once you've done the reprogramming and you're at this level, which I trust that you all are, you can just decide like, okay, like let's fucking go. I'm not going to sleep on my dreams anymore. I'm not going to sleep on my desires. I'm going to become the version of myself who's living in my desired reality right now. Have you ever played with that? Like drop in the comments below. Are you like that emoji with their mind blown right now? Like, what? Like I could just like, I'm that powerful. I'm that powerful that I could just decide right now that I'm going to be a new version of myself. And like I don't need any more accolades. I don't need any more money. I don't need a man to text me. Like I don't need a ring on my finger. I don't need the scale to tell me a certain amount of weight. Like, and this goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. You've got to stop needing your reality to change, because needing is this desperate energy. And instead of needing your reality to change, understanding that reality happens breath by breath, moment by moment. So you can literally Just decide right now that the reality that you are currently in isn't telling you who you get to be. The reality that you are currently in isn't telling you who you get to be. Hear me when I say that. This is why you hear us say, us being the manifestation teachers and coaches and thought leaders and spiritual, whatever, light workers or whatever you want to call us, the fucking people leading the ascension. That's why you'll always hear us say, your circumstances don't matter. That's why this event is called Detach from the 3D. Because the reason why you need, we're melting that term. We're melting the chains of neediness right now. The reasons why you feel like you need your reality to change is because you are allowing your reality to tell you who you get to be. And based off of that, you are feeling certain feelings. You are thinking certain thoughts about yourself, about reality, about money, about success, about everything. And you are taking actions in alignment with the version of you that you've accepted to be based on the circumstances. What if your identity was greater than your circumstance? What if? What if, y'all? I have told you for probably like the better part of a year now, what is time? But I've been saying it is you have to be greater than your circumstances. You have to feel greater than your circumstances. You have to think greater than your circumstances. But what if you identified greater than your circumstances? Because that is going to be the game changer. That is going to be the thing. Yeah, mind blown emoji. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, you guys are feeling it. And I want you to know that this is normally how I teach. I normally will like come up with like some things and then I like just like a blueprint of how, and then I get on and I like channel, I get into like the zone and I channel these things. And sometimes I'm like, girl, what did you just say? So what I need you to know is like I am just plugged in right now to like what needs to come through. Yesterday I had notes because I was like, I got to make sure I tell them about the giveaway and da, 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 da. This is channeling through to me. And why I'm telling you this is because I identify as a mentor. I'm not a coach telling you how to do everything. We already talked about how questions, that's not the vibe. That's heavy lifting. It's up to the universe. It's not up to you. It's all about who. And in mentorship, I'm showing you and I'm teaching you how to be, who to be based on the lessons that I've learned, the frequencies I've integrated, the wisdom that I now embody. And because teaching is part of like my soul's mission, my brain would get in the way of the information the way that it needs to be said. And my throat, I have a defined throat chakra in human design. Like my throat is how I move energy. And so the beauty of this is this is probably the culmination of a decade's worth of lessons and integrations and embodiments and shifting and understanding now like how it's all truly tying together. And I've always told you identity is the overarching piece of transformation because it changes your behaviors, it changes your thoughts, it changes the actions that you take, it changes the habits that you have. But since I'm playing with, and I have been playing with the concept of collapsing time and manifesting faster, I'm no longer even entertaining the, well, what if it doesn't work? Because I've already embodied the version of myself and identified as the version of myself who manifests everything that I desire. So there's just decision and then there's just movement. And so it's this process of falling in love, of becoming the most convicted version of yourself. If you're, for lack of a better word, doing manifestation right, consciously manifesting your desires, that's how I want to say this. versus unconsciously manifesting your desires. You are in a new frequency. You've identified differently. You are thinking different thoughts. You're not waiting. You're not saying all these affirmations. You're not letting it live in your head. You are dropping it down into your body, which is why I teach you guys my Psyche manifestation method. It's mind, body, soul, because this process is so much more holistic. Like, yes, the mindset, yes, the energy and the emotions and the spiritual, the aspect, like it all matters. But when you understand that how you're identifying in the moment is truly defining you, and if you can just identify differently now, not needing to listen to another sleep track, not needing to do another meditation, not needing to say another affirmation. Did I say that? Let me take a sip of water. Like, not needing for your reality to change right now, because you're not chaining your identity to your reality. And when you're chaining your identity to your reality, that's when you're sitting on your couch feeling frustrated and getting bummed out that manifestation isn't working for you, because you're waiting to become a different version of yourself before you move differently. I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. All right, let me see, because I did see one question forever ago. So let me just see, because I want to see what that question was. Oh, this is a comment, and I feel like this is a really beautiful and synchronistic comment. Sometimes manifestation gets exhausting because if you don't see it in the 3D, you will feel like it's not working out and start spiraling and thinking, what am I doing wrong? Exactly. And thank you so much for having like the self-awareness and speaking about that, because that's exactly what I'm talking about right now. Is that when you feel like you need to learn how to manifest and you need to do certain things so that way certain things manifest, you are limiting your power as a creator. You are playing into this limited identity that is still tied to the 3D, because that identity questions, they doubt themselves, they wonder if it's working. Because remember what I said, when you become someone who manifests all of their desires, it isn't about what you do, because everything you do works. I have told you guys for so long that the energy and the mindset that you're in when you take an action is a self-fulfilling prophecy of whether you're going to get the results that you desire. So if you're doing something from this place of, what if I'm not doing it right? What if people don't buy? What if this isn't good enough? What if I'm not good enough? What if it doesn't work? I don't know. Like, if I tweak this and if I do this, this person's doing this, so it's working for them, so I'm going to try and just do that for me. When we start playing here, we're actually in a doubtful frequency, in an uncertain mindset. We are playing into, energetically and mentally, the idea of it not working. And if you're doing something in the idea of it not working because you have a root belief that says it needs to be done in a certain way in order for it to happen, that is somebody who isn't plugged into their personal power. Because if you are plugged into your personal power and you truly identify as somebody who manifests everything that they desire, manifestation is always working. It is always happening. It's always this or something better. I get everything that I want. It comes to me quickly. So then the aligned action that you feel inspired to take, which isn't just this big grandiose idea that drops in from the sky, like it's going to be something that seems trivial. It's going to be, go to this coffee shop. I don't know why I always use this example, but I always just use this example of, it's going to be, go to this coffee shop and work from that coffee shop instead of working from your home office. And then you're going to run into somebody and it's like, or an idea is going to spark because you're going to see a sign at the coffee shop, or you're going to overhear a conversation. And like, then your next book downloads to you, or your next program channels through, or you meet somebody that becomes your best friend, or is somebody that you work with, or a client, or whatever it is. Like, but it's like, if you identify as somebody that gets everything that they desire, and you start feeling into that version of yourself, you start showing up as that version of yourself, you start embodying that version of yourself, then you're just getting clear on what you desire. You dropped that whole doubting bit. Like, we don't even go there. We move from desire to decision. Okay, this is what I desire. Okay, I get to have it. There's no room for questioning. And then immediately it's like, we're just going, living. It doesn't necessarily mean doing more. It just means we are plugged into this different frequency. We have this different identity. So we are actively living our life. We're going out, we're having fun, we're enjoying the process of this co-creation. And we aren't feeling frustrated. We aren't feeling doubtful. We aren't worried that it's not going to work, because we have an underlying root belief that it always works. And because we believe that, it's always working. So it's not about trying to figure out what you're doing or not doing. It's about, who am I being? And that's why yesterday when somebody was like, so shadow work, right? It's like, this is going to require some shadow work. I walk you step by step through this process in the Self-Concept Master Course, which is one of the programs within AOMU. But it's like, when you can have clarity on who you're being, you're not going to be over analyzing the strategy that you're using, because who you're being, the frequency that you're in, the mindset that you're in. Because think about it. If you're walking around with this belief and in this energy of, I get everything I fucking want, and you say, so okay, what do I want in this moment? Let's stick with the coffee example. What if you just want like a fancy fucking latte? Okay, then no matter what's happening right now, you're going to go get that fancy latte. And you're building this belief system. Is what I call the one masterclass called evidence bank. Because I say putting new evidence in your evidence bank. You're deciding to become somebody that gets everything that they desire. So when you desire something, you get it. So if it's as easy as driving to the coffee shop, you go and drive, and who knows, maybe you get it for free, or maybe they like whatever. But it's like, you become somebody that gets what they desire. So you don't sit on your couch and think about how you really want that latte, but you have to pay this bill later, and you haven't made any money in your business today, and no one's really reaching out. And so I don't know, should I really justify the $7 coffee? That's what so many people are doing. The desire comes up, and this is why I'm using something so tangible and practical, right? Like, I'm not talking about manifesting a car, because we have a belief system that works in scale. And so it's like, coffee is something that's very easy to work with, right? And so it's like, and it's super practical, right? Like, honestly, and you don't have to answer in the comments if you don't feel called, but like, hit the like button if you're like, that I do that. I do that. Like, I do say that I want something, and it could be as little as a coffee or like a matcha if you're not a coffee drinker. And you just get like in the mood where you really want to just like go out and like get the fucking drink that you want. Like I don't know, you on your hot girl walk, you want to walk with that iced matcha or whatever it is for you. But it's like, do you just go get it? Do you trust that, like, that you want it and it's going to make you feel good and it's going to make you happy, and like, you're just going to follow your desire in the moment? And like, because you follow that desire in the moment, I call them energetic breadcrumbs. Desires are energetic breadcrumbs. So you follow that desire in that moment. You got that matcha. You're so excited because you're going to get the matcha. You're so excited now on your hot girl walk because you have the matcha, and then you're walking and you're feeling good. And then all of a sudden, not coincidentally, you have the best walk ever. And then you end up stumbling into this store that has a product on sale that you've been wanting to try. And you're like, oh my God, I've been wanting to try that. I get that. If you followed your desires all day long instead of talking yourself out of your desires, How many people are like, oh, guilty as charged, guilty as charged. I talk myself out of my desires a lot, even if it's something as little as a matcha or buying the face cream that you wanted, or like whatever it is. But this, like, the version of you who gets everything that they want, they aren't concerned about the $7 fucking for that matcha, because why? Money is an energetic exchange. You are exchanging money as a tool and leveraging it to get what you desire. That $7 energetically was immediately reimbursed. It was actually pre-deposited because you were excited about the matcha on your way to go get the matcha. You were in a better frequency. You were excited about it. You're like, this is amazing. I'm going to go get the matcha that I want. It's going to be the best matcha ever. Then I'm going to go on this walk and it's going to be great. Then you get the matcha, like you're in line, you're excited, you're waiting, you get it, you take that first sip. It's so good. Then you're walking with it. It feels so amazing. Like, and this is only $7. Like, this is only $7. And I have had the best morning or afternoon ever because I allowed myself to go get that damn matcha instead of sitting on my couch right now and saying, well, I need another person to buy one of my products before I can go justify that $7. You don't even have to listen to what I'm saying, but do you feel the shift in frequency? And I know you know what I'm talking about. And a lot of you were hitting the like on there. I saw you when I was saying, like, do you do this? And I get it. Like, I used to do this too. How fucking stupid is that, you guys? Like, how stupid is that? And I know that you guys see me as a very like serious person because I am embodied in like my teacher archetype and I'm like channeling through. But in my personal life, I'm cracking jokes. Like, we be laughing. Okay. We are having a good time. And one thing that I like to do when I go away, she's just like looking at, oh, you guys can see her on YouTube. She's just standing there like a creep. Go. So one thing that I like to do when I identify a limitation that has like so deeply been programmed into me, that I was so deeply unconscious to the fact that like I was doing that and it was capping me majorly, is I like to make it funny. So that way, the next time my mind tries to make it so fucking serious, because that's what the mind does, the part of me, like the entertainer archetype in me, is like, girl, it's like, what, you can't unsee it, right? Like, so once I was like, that's so fucking stupid. Like, that is the stupidest thing that, like, why would I ever talk myself out of my desires? Why would I ever? Because your desire, it's a desire because it's that thing that you're like, ooh, wouldn't it feel good if I got that matcha? Wouldn't it feel exciting if I did this? Wouldn't it be amazing if this happened? Like, it's something that energetically is like, ooh, that feels so fucking good. Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be something crazy. And when you're actually tapped in, tuned on, turned in, like, you're going to realize that these buzzes just keep happening. And this is a new frequency that you're living in. But it's like, when I pointed out how stupid it was for me to doubt my desires, for me to talk myself out of them, it was like, what? I'm having a conversation with God, universe, source right now. And I'm trying to tell source, God, universe, the creator of fucking everything, that I can't have something when I'm the one that created it, like on the grander scale. Like, that's so fucking stupid. I can literally have anything that I want. Of course I can have the $7 matcha. I'm not even going to entertain that. Nope. That was old Alexa coming out. That was old Alexa who's doubting, who's going into this like weird bullshit. No, the dramatics, we're not going there anymore. It's the ego is dramatic. And so when you call the ego out for being dramatic and you're like, bro, like, no, the fact that I took you so seriously and the fact that I talked myself out of my desires for so goddamn long. Because think about it, like, how many people in the universe are already like, society is talking you out of your desires. Like, you don't need to be another person that's talking yourself out of your desires. You need to be the one person that's hyping yourself the fuck up, saying, I get to have everything that I want. These are my desires. Like, it gets to come in. When you start doing this and you follow these energetic breadcrumbs and you feel fucking amazing and you feel how electric it is to be alive, to be somebody who gets what they want, and like, trust that everything is working out. Like, you'll always have the resources provided for, the money will always be there, the clients will always be there, the sales will always be there, the love will always be there. Like, you just tap in and you play into that frequency now. You're not waiting for things to change outside of you. You've shifted so much internally that you're not even attached to what's going on outside of you because you've plugged into this new frequency where it feels so fucking good to be you and loving this whole creation process. Like, how differently would that be than even if you went and got the coffee or the matcha, but you talked yourself like into guilting it the whole way, or you bought it and then you felt guilty because who else does that? Like, I'm just realizing that we are at the hour point, so I should be wrapping up now. But I just like, let me know. Are you guys feeling this? Like, feel the shift in what I'm saying. Feel how differently that is. Like, are you moving like that right now? Are you like, even when it comes to the silliest matcha, are you somebody who's talking yourself into and telling yourself, like, of course you deserve the matcha, and going and getting it and feeling amazing and loving every sip of it and feeling so fucking grateful and so fucking excited that you are just moving at a different level? You're getting different downloads, you're getting different ideas. Or are you the person that has a desire, doesn't even really let it buzz with electricity, because as soon as that desire comes in, you're talking yourself out of it? You're telling yourself why you can't have it. You're telling yourself why maybe in 5 years you could, or it's easy for them. Like, what are the stories that you're telling as soon as you get the desires? Because that's what happens. The desire comes in, and then based off of the belief system we have, we start telling a story of how it's going to go for us. And that affects the mindset that we're in, that affects the energy that we're in, thus creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of what we're going to get. So if we're feeling frustrated, if we are doubting, if we don't have certainty, clarity, and conviction, and if we're not confident about it, then all of these stories of disempowerment are going to play out, and we're in this frequency of it might not work, so it doesn't work, or it takes a long time, or it's inconsistent. But I want you to understand that that's the human you that you were programmed to be. And like I was saying earlier, you can just make a decision right now that that's no longer how you identify. I call it you 2.0 in the self-concept masterclass. So like, how can you start being you 2.0 right now and showing up as that version of yourself? And so it's like, that version of you wouldn't get frustrated. That version of you wouldn't be thinking that's not working. Like, they're getting their mindset right. They're getting their energy right. They're making sure their identity is in check before they go out and like interact with the 3D world. So they're not allowing the 3D world to affect how they're feeling, how they're thinking, the stories that they're telling. They are fucking blissfully creating this experience and understanding that everything that they're seeing outside of them is just old news. It's just attached to the old story and the old identity and the old beliefs. But since you've decided to identify differently, you're no longer anchored to that reality. You're now energetically anchoring yourself through your identity into a new reality. So you don't need this reality right now to change, because you're actually like falling in love and appreciating this reality right now, because you know that that best case scenario reality is happening. And so it's like, there's no desperation, there's no neediness, there's no like frustration. It's pure fucking magic, baby. And that's the place where manifestation really gets to be, when you start learning how to collapse the time by doing identity work, and rapid identity work, rapidly. So let me just see if becoming your own hype girl. Love that. Yes, 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 yes. Loving this. Oh, I'm so happy. Been there. I felt like I needed to be journaling or doing all of the techniques, and I was worried about it. Girl, I just needed to relax. Exactly. And that's the thing, right? How many times are we like meditating and doing these things, but we're actually like just perpetuating that frustrated state? I'm very practical when I teach things. And if you're really like frustrated, I don't necessarily think that meditation is the best thing for you to do, because unless you are like somebody who's very skilled at meditating, you're now just sitting in these frequencies of frustration. You got to move that shit out of your body, especially if you are a generator, a manifesting generator, because that's our not self theme in human design. Like, you got to move that shit out of your body. Go for a walk, do some breath work, like jump into an ice bath, exercise. Like you got to get that frustration out, because you got to actually be in a more calm, clear state to sit down and meditate, so that way you can relax into that moment. And so it's like, it's so funny because a lot of these routines that I feel like people are doing, and I mentioned this yesterday, are actually getting them out of the frequency that they need to be in and really chaining them to the identity that they used to have. And that identity somewhere says that I'm not good enough as I am right now, and I need to heal this part of me, or I need to fix this, or I need to be better at this, or I need to learn more of this in order to get this. But that's a belief system, because see, that was multiple beliefs chained together. We talk about chaining anchors, I think, and reprogram yourself, one of them, but it's like beliefs. A belief system is beliefs that are chained together, right? So that's a belief system where it's like there's multiple beliefs that are chained to this belief system, and it perpetuates, like, like tree branches, almost like the roots, like this, like it like goes all out. But it's like, what if we just broke that entire chain and cut that entire chain off, and that deleted that belief system? Like, what if you could just decide, just like a computer, you can delete a file on the computer, and do you want to delete it forever? Yes, I want to delete that belief system forever. And so it's like integrating it all now. This is how you're going to do it faster, not needing to heal, not needing more not time, not needing more knowledge, not needing to do another thing. Like, yeah. Thank you. And yes, yes. Ow, ow. Oh my God, I love that. Thank you for your help. Hell yeah. Thank you. You're so welcome. Yes, I could listen. I could listen all day, and I'm going to get my drink when we are done and going to enjoy the heck out of it. Oh my God, girl, Angel. See, exactly. That's fucking it. That is fucking it. And I just want to say, Angel, like, one thing that she has been working on this year is her self-concept, like going hard, and she's been showing up and doing the damn thing. Old Angel might have been like, okay, yeah, this was powerful, but old Angel wasn't going to say, as soon as we get off this live, I'm going to get my damn drink and I'm going to love it. Like, I'm like tearing up. That makes me so fucking happy, because that is such a level of growth for you, my girl. Like, and that's it. That's it. Are you at the level right now where you're like, I'm going to move differently after this? Like, I'm going to move differently. That I'm not just going to let like this energy be like, oh my God, that was amazing. I love listening to Alexa. Listen to me. If it like, plug into someone's energy and frequency if you need to. Like, that's literally what I tell you to do in my academy. Plug in, play the lessons in the background of your mind. It's not a wonder when my clients and students are always like, I hear you in the back of my head, because I'm like, just keep playing the shit. If you are plugged into a different frequency, the identity that's plugged into that old frequency can't keep showing up, right? So it's like, get out of your own way and start moving as the version of yourself right now. Like, instead of just like letting this be another training, like, let this be, decide that this is the moment that you're going to fucking change your life. Like, right fucking now, today. And then what does that look like? It doesn't have to be something major, but I've always told you that quantum leaps occur from the micro shifts. It's the micro shifts that build up and add up. Now I'm just playing with, how can we shift so quickly and rapidly, momentarily, that it shifts faster? And it's a really fucking place to be in. And you might not be like fully calibrated to go here yet. So this might feel like, whoo, but take with it what resonates, what you can. Like, start like infusing the concepts, because this, like, you always meet me at the level where I'm at right now, and you will see baby Alexa like going through this entire journey and learning all of the mindset fundamentals and all the things. If you get into AOMU or even follow my content, you've seen me grow. So I teach you where I'm at, and that's why I can support you along the journey, because I'm always meeting you. So if you're like, I feel like this was a little too advanced of a conversation for me, trust that your soul brought you here for a reason and you were ready to hear it. But like, don't overcomplicate it. Go get a damn drink and enjoy the heck out of it. How good would that be? How good would that be? I can only stay there for a few seconds though. So that's something that we will be talking about. But what I want to say to that is, you are learning to sustain higher frequencies. That's the way that it channeled through when I was recording a piece of content the other day. And I was like, oh my God, that was fire. And then somebody reaffirmed that in one of my comments, one of like my OG followers on YouTube. And I was like, yes, that's how it is. So you're learning to sustain higher frequencies, and that's okay. So we can just start building in these higher frequencies and start feeling there. That's why I call the third pillar to my psyche manifestation method recoding your cellular DNA, because energetically you are learning to hold higher frequencies, and you are in a dense human body. So it can take a toll, it can take a little time. But what if we start playing with, oh, it's so easy for me to hold these higher frequencies. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened, but it seems like overnight I was just able to like play there longer. It was so much easier. I just woke up in that state. So start seeing if you can change your language around that and your belief system around that, and start letting it come in faster. But also just like give your human what it needs, and rest and drink a lot of water, and make sure. That's why visualizations are so important. If you guys have not yet gotten the upgrade, the meditation with this, I highly recommend it. It's only $11. It's a super powerful meditation that channeled through to me exclusively for this. So I highly recommend getting that if you haven't, because the way that I do my meditations is it's like a visualization. So that way you are connecting with like the spiritual version of yourself. You are detaching from this human identity that seems so matter of fact, and you're going into another frequency and able to receive downloads and really connect in. And then every time you leave one of those, you're holding higher frequencies in you. And so it's like it is a process, and it's one of those things that, just like everything, get it, get good, get fast. You can do this. You can do this. Thank you for spreading the word and teaching these tools. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And I had a friend talking about her life the other day, and I said, go follow her on everything. She's the reason I'm doing so well. Oh my God, Angel, I fucking love that. Like doing reps in strength training. That is exactly what it is. That is how I've always explained mindset work, is just like if you were going to go to the gym to have a healthier body, you would never expect on day one that you would have the booty, the big booty, and the abs. So even though the intention is to talk about collapsing the time and manifesting faster by detaching from the 3D, I also want to meet you where you're at and understand that when we are at the beginning stages of doing this work, do what you need to do and what you feel called to do. And exactly at the beginning of everything, it's about putting in the reps. It's about putting in the consistency. It's about the dedication. And the other thing I want you to think about there is, because it is the perfect metaphor for mindset work, is, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, because you guys know I've 1:11 on the clock, absolutely perfect. But when you go to the gym to work out, you have an idea. I want to grow my booty. I want to slim my waist. I want to tone my arms. I want to have defined abs. Like, you have an idea of what you want. And then you go to the gym, and it might take a month, it might take 3 months, but you go to the gym consistently. And even though at the beginning you probably don't see any results, you slowly start seeing the results. You believe, though, that once you continue to do this, you're going to have those results. So even though you're putting in more work than you're seeing results, you know that that dynamic is going to switch, and the results are not going to require as much work because you put in the reps. You've trained yourself to be able to work out faster, easier. You've built up the muscle, you're building the momentum, you're maintaining it. I've always told you, and I've always used the language of maintaining your energetic frequency. Like, doing personal development work is maintenance. At the beginning, it's a lot of learning and unlearning and reprogramming, but then it's about maintenance. And when you keep putting in the reps, you show up for the gym every day. You don't need to be working out as hard, as long. Like, it's just, you're just strengthened in that, and you will be strengthened. Is that the word? Yes. In energetic maintenance and like holding a higher frequency. But yeah, just like with everything, you got to put in the reps. You got to put in the reps and put in the reps and keep putting in the reps, even when you don't see the results, because you're not looking for the immediate results. You're doing it because of the version of yourself that you're becoming. It's so perfect how it lines up with manifestation. Dunson, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. So good to see you. So good to see you. All right, last one. Booking my trip to Hawaii for my brother's wedding, leaving tomorrow, when before I was entertaining not going because XYZ. Hello, it's my brother's wedding. Oh my God, Stephanie. Yes. And it's fucking Hawaii, girl. Like, even if there was like family drama or like whatever, you're going to go. You're going to be in the best fucking vibe ever. You're going to listen to some dope ass music on the plane. You're going to maybe do like a visualization. You're going to bring your cute outfits. You're going to look amazing. You're going to feel amazing. You're maybe going to go on a walk like before the wedding and get outside in nature, maybe get in the ocean. Like, girl, you can be in Hawaii, like, and then you're just going to show up for your brother. In the long term, you know, it's going to be amazing. But if you just go in with like, this is like an amazing Hawaii vacation, and yeah, I get to see my family. Cool. Like, don't even entertain the dramatics. Just be the version of yourself who's completely unfazed and who's having like the best fucking time in Hawaii, because that's available for you. Haha, yes, I just got back from a month in Europe, so my body was tired. And yes, I love this. I love you. Okay, amazing. And that's the thing, girl. Like, sometimes we are tired, but like, you can't be too tired for an adventure. I used to always say, my motto used to always be every day is an adventure. And like, if I did not find myself in an adventure by like a certain time at night, it was like whoever was in my car, it was like, we're going to go find an adventure. Like, and that I love that version of Alexa that was so fucking carefree, like that wasn't doing all the personal development work and taking life so seriously. It was just like living life in the fast lane. It's like, your older self, when you are like sitting back and reflecting on your life, you're not going to think about all the times that you like rested in your house and like caught up on TV. You're going to think about the epic Hawaii trip that you took right after you got back from Europe, and it was balls to the walls amazing. Like, you know, like that's what's going to play out. So all right. I love you guys so much, and I could talk to you all day forever, but we still have 3 days. So I don't even, at this point, y'all, I'm along for this journey with you. I don't even know the shit that's going to come out. I manifested that this was going to be like just fucking insanely epic. And I feel like this is one of the most powerful teachings that's like ever come through to me. And so if you are a course creator, maybe like stop taking it so seriously and trust that you know your shit and just show the fuck up. So that's a little lesson for anyone who's also an entrepreneur. But I love you guys so much. If you are, the girls know like what that's my out, so they're getting excited. But yeah, if you have not yet upgraded your experience, it's only $11. If you want to upgrade, just click on the link in the program. These trainings will be up for a week. So next Monday, they all get taken down. If you're in the program, you'll have the replay available. You can catch it on YouTube. You can catch it on Instagram. These will live in AOMU, my Manifestation University. And if you are new here, if you don't know what that is unlike anything on the internet. It is 25, I think I counted yesterday, 25 different programs that teach you everything from foundational personal development, healing work. I give you all the resources to reprogram, to regulate. I give you the breath work. I give you NLP. I give you meditations. I give you visualizations. I give you hypnoses. I give you 25 different programs that go really in depth on all these different things between energetics, quantum physics, universal laws, mindset, living in the wish fulfilled. Like we go so deep, and I give you everything that you need to know. So if you are looking to really manifest the life of your dreams this year, then this is the space for you. It gives you everything that you will ever need to know and more. It is so fucking good and so fucking powerful. It is literally like my life's work. If you know my book that's coming out, so AOMU stands for Alchemy of Manifestation University. And so my book that's coming out is called Alchemy of Manifestation, because it is like, this is my life's work. So I talked about how it's changed me. It's changed so many students' lives. And I would be so excited to have you. If you guys want to join for being in this live experience, you can use the code DETACH, all capitals, and you'll save $200 off of your tuition. The doors are closing on Sunday, and this code is going to be expiring on Friday after the training ends. So do with that what you will. If you do have any questions about AOMU, you can always shoot me an email. If you click the link in my bio, it's got all of the links for you, whether you want to book short-term mentorship, if you want to book long-term mentorship, you get access to AOMU and all of my business programs as well. So let me know how I can support you. I fucking love you guys. I love hanging out with you. I love doing these. Oh, one thing I do want to mention is that I sent an email, and I think I posted on my stories once about it, that I have a new masterclass that's coming up, and I've fallen in love with live. And you guys know, like, I love vibing with you guys. So we're going to test it out, but I'm actually going to start teaching live. So my next masterclass, called Wealth Account, is going to be taught live, and it's going to be on Monday the 19th. And I'm so fucking excited. So if you've been wanting to play in money energetics, this is the program for you, like, or the masterclass for you. It's going to be so fucking fun, and it's going to be live like this, so I can answer your questions on it. It's going to be a vibe. So I wanted to mention that if you guys like me live and being with me live, then just sign up for that masterclass. And I'll probably, going forward, going to be teaching them live, but we're going to see how I feel. So I'm so excited. Thank you guys for being here. This was so fucking epic. I'm going to go now because I've been talking your ear off, but I love you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST, and we will keep the momentum going. All right. Have the most amazing day. Go get your matchas and have a hot girl walk. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.